Thank you, Alan. Ada certainly shares a special kinship relationship with Mr. Cuddy and his bank. It's certainly one of the long-time foundational banking institutions in the state, if I can just make that comment. I represent the Alaska Industrial Export Authority, ADA. Excuse me, I guess I gotta get my title ready here, right? We are a public corporation that we have our authorities basically in the statutes, the laws of the state of Alaska, and we're really focused on being an economic development entity and a financial entity that is in the business of providing basic financing and other support for economic development within the state. And specifically, we are really focused on implementing Governor Parnell's goal of developing and financing large-scale projects, and specifically dealing with projects such as the potential port developments here in the Haight area for the benefit of the people of the state of Alaska and generally to develop economic commerce with our neighbors in Canada. It's a big job ahead of us, and certainly with major mine developments and the commercial impetus that is occurring within the Yukon and as well as the British Columbia. I think we see that our particular skills in infrastructure development, financing of infrastructure development, and working closely with local governments to accomplish that will be an important part of the future of the Haight area. So just to put a slightly finer point on this, ADA has a very active loan participation program where we participate in the actual loaning of funds or guaranteeing loans, and in particular we have quite a number of those sorts of loan participations with Mr. Cuddy's bank, and it's been this is a success story within the state of actually achieving economic development through the assistance in financing. We also have a major infrastructure development program where ADA actually can own projects as, I'm going to say, a passive owner, where we have the ability over the very long run to own a project and then to write contracts with operating entities to actually make use of the asset for the benefit of economic development. Certainly those sorts of concepts could be operable. We also have a new program on energy infrastructure development. There is a new fund that was just recently implemented in the legislature for energy infrastructure, which we feel will be very useful in developing power infrastructure, such as transmission lines, to support major mining developments. We deal with new market tax credits. We have quite a number of small business loans and guarantees. We also engage in conduit bonds, and we do have some special abilities to actually issue bonds to finance bankable projects. And just very shortly, I did want to say that ADA does not compete with the private sector. It does not provide grants, nor does it exclusively finance large projects. We are very much an entity that seeks to develop public-private partnerships, and certainly on developments that have major capital requirements. I think this is the way that the government can effectively participate in economic development while we achieve the miracle of the private market and the private sector. So with that, I look forward to meeting each and every one of you, and I certainly invite you to understand about the financing abilities of the state through ADA. And with that, I'll pass the mic.
Thank you. Thanks. Hi, my name is Glen Haight. I'm with the Alaska Department of Commerce, Community and Economic Development, and the Division of Economic Development. I find myself sitting with being invited local guests. I thought I'd sneak in on this side. Perhaps I should be that. But thank you very much for the invite. And what's kind of neat is all the people that are sitting around the room. I thought that you were all here for the hamburger feed, but it turns out you've stayed. So it's very impressive to see this kind of support. I work in the Division of Economic Development. The Department of Commerce is a fairly diverse department. You've heard from two different members, I would think, of Commerce. That's ADA and the Railroad Corporation. They're sort of non-bureaucratic agencies inside Commerce, which is nice for them. But I work in the Division of Economic Development, and I'm in the bureaucracy. Where we have development specialists in a number of different areas: commercial fisheries, visitor industry, minerals development. We have the film office, small business development specialists, and a wood products development specialist. And they're kind of freelancers for their various sectors. That's how I would characterize them. And in terms of what you could do for us, I think it's really connecting with our people as they apply to you. There may be some real advantages, for instance, with our minerals folks who engage in marketing Alaska as a location. They show up at PDAC and Roundup, and if they could incorporate your information in their promotional material, I think that's a valuable use of their resources. We also, not only do we engage in marketing, but we provide a lot of business technical assistance, which is really sort of informal, one-on-one, how can we work with you and work within state government. And so please don't forget that as a resource. We have a small research capacity, and we also have a financing arm that can do small business development types of loans. I think your greatest resource here, though, is ADA in terms of large port development, and so it's great to see them here. But look forward to chatting with you further tomorrow and tonight.